my new subject of videos, and I've decided to take the first call on Air India Club. The subject is on the clubs of UAE. I've been here for a long time, and UAE cricket has given me a lot of things, and I want to try to give back to the clubs which I have been affiliated and which I feel could be very played a pivotal role in UAE's cricket. The first thing that came to my mind was Air India Club. This is my first episode, and I had to break way and get through to get to the four, just the stars of Air India team who got the team together, and they were none other than Mohammed Lokhandwala and Mazhar. I was lucky, I caught up with both of them at the Sharjah Stadium, the historic Sharjah Stadium. Mazhar bhai, welcome to my show, and Mohammed bhai, welcome to my show. Mohammed bhai, Mohammed Lokhandwala, who is just finishing his tenure of staying in UAE and going back, lucky to catch him at the right time. And Mazhar bhai is Mazhar Khan, always travelling around and doing so much for the ECB and the Sharjah Cricket Club, Sharjah Council as well. I was lucky to catch him also. Thank you very much, sir.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us, and wish you all the best in your new assignment.
Yeah.
And we are there to support you, and let's take on from there.
Mazhar bhai, I know that you can be talking about cricket on different grounds and different councils and different clubs. Today I'm going to take you only for Air India, and just wanted to know that how it all started. How did the Air India Club, coming to the point straight away, I am not going to take, how did the Air India concept come to UAE and which year and how did it all happen? The basic thing, which whatever you know, please put it on.
Well, it all started one day when I got a call from Vikram Kaul saying that he's setting up a practice academy in Dubai, and so if we can join them. So I didn't know Vikram bhai then. But when I spoke to him on the phone, he looked very passionate person. And then we started, he said that he's setting up an Air India Sports Club, inviting players from here, from different nationalities.
Vikram bhai was already here?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
So Vikram bhai had just come. He was working with Air India.
Which year was this?
1982.
Oh, it's long back.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's how the Air India Sports Club was formed, and we all got together. And we used to practice at this Al Nasser Leisureland.
Okay.
There was a wicket there. And then we started playing some matches, and then later on, I think through Vikram bhai, we got hold of a ground itself, which was the ex-Sharjah Cricket Club ground in Al Khan here in Sharjah. And Vikram bhai pursued Mr. Khatir to just give this ground to them.
Okay.
And that was the time the Sharjah Cricket moved to Sharjah Cricket Stadium.
How was the, it was like you all started as a sports club, if I am in Air India.
That's right.
And then, of course, the sports were still there, but you got streamlined more in the cricket line. Was it the same?
That's right. And the idea was Vikram bhai was more involved in cricket, and we thought, why not set up a team and play domestic games. And in those days, there were hardly any grounds and teams available. But the passion which Vikram bhai had, he pulled us all together, and then we started working on domestic cricket as well as going on tours. The first tour was in 1982-83, I think, when we went to India, where we met the former Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, at her residence. That was a memorable tour for us.
I'll come to you then. Mohammed bhai, you're sitting and you're going to the memories and the history of it's called coming right in front of you. I can feel it.
It's a recall for me also, because I was not here in the 81 period. I only came in 1982 after they arrived from the India leg tour. So I believe
I would like you to speak, because Vikram bhai has been introduced. I would like you to introduce to me, know what is Vikram bhai, who is Vikram Kaul, and what is he?
For me, Vikram bhai is my mentor. I learned a lot from him. In fact, when I came here, I had no inkling that cricket is played in Dubai or in the UAE or in Sharjah. I had just come on a 2 weeks holiday because my sister insisted for me to come here. I was working for Bank of India and I had a cushy job playing for Kharjan Khana, Islam Khana, and it was not in my plans to come here. But then when I came here, somebody gave me the reference of Shamrao, Air India airport manager. Then go and meet him. So I just went to meet Shamrao, and Shamrao put me on to Vikram Kaul, who was the Assistant Executive Regional Director
Exactly.
in Air India office in Maktoum Street,
Okay.
in Binya Street.
Okay.
And that was very close to my house. So when I went to meet him and I told him about my cricket background, he says, "Boy, you are playing for us." I said, "But I haven't carried anything. I do not have shoes, shirt, trouser, nothing. I just came here on a 2-week vacation." Yeah. He says, "Just tell me your size." Yeah. And the first game was against SNTTA, Sharjah National Travel
Still remember that, huh?
and Tourist Agency, when the Sharjah ground was a grassy ground and a cement wicket. And we played against Ashfaq Magba and the SNTTA team. So that was my
So
introduction.
it was normal Vikram sir's way, you know. If you
Absolutely.
want somebody, he just pulls you. He just pulls you in.
Absolutely.
Vikram Kaul sir is, of course, I'm going to get a bite of his, and he's going to be there with us. This is the forefather of this Air India club, and cricket in UAE. I could say to go to the international level, he has played a big role, a big man himself, a great personality whom I always thought with Amitabh Bachchan, Rajiv Gandhi, moving with all those guys all around, grew up with them. And there's a lot more we can talk about Vikram Kaul, but we are going to the Air India. We're coming back to Mazhar bhai. Mazhar sir, as again I keep calling you bhai, but you have to be my sir all the time, you know. But this is how we keep playing together. We keep calling each other bhai. Mazhar sir, you were going to start on the tours issue. You all made the first tour to India, where you all met the Prime Minister of India then at that, and we had a lot of all the cricketers, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, a lot of cricketers going on. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I think the first leg was Mumbai, if I'm not mistaken. From Mumbai, we went to Delhi. And in Delhi, one day we were just having a dinner with Vikram Bhai's mother, who was the former Minister of
The Sheila Kaul.
Mrs. Sheila Kaul.
Mrs. Sheila.
So one of my colleagues, Mohammed, he asked her that, "Auntie, can we meet the Prime Minister?" So
It was a casual talk.
yeah, so it was a casual talk, and then she asked for a telephone. In those days, there was not much telephone. Someone brought a telephone to her place where she was sitting, and she called the Prime Minister and said that, "Listen, Vikram Kaul is here and he wants to see you. He's come with a team." He says, "Okay, come over tomorrow morning." So we all got dressed up, and we were there at 7:30 in the morning to
Wow.
see the Prime Minister at a
It
residence.
seldom happens, like even when you win the World Cup, India team meets the Prime Minister,
Yeah,
and here we have the Air India team and the full of Air India team going to. Coming back to that again, yeah, yes, you're saying.
And then, the next day we were there, and the Prime Minister told Vikram Bhai, "You have still not left your cricket." So he says, very politely, he says, "No, ma'am, I'm still continuing with my cricket," and so on. So it was great honor. We had a group photograph, and each one of us was introduced to her individually. And that was the prime, that was the best thing that could have happened to we as youngsters then, to meet up the Prime Minister of India. And from that tour onwards, since Vikram Bhai,
You have made tours to different countries. You have
Yes.
covered India, you have gone to England a couple of times, I believe Air India team. And Mohammed bhai, you will have to tell me on that. You have gone to South Africa a couple of times again. And I was also lucky to be part of you all with the South Africa tour. And just elaborate on the tour basis. I want to know, like, how did Air India start the concept of going on tours?
Again, it goes back to Vikram Bhai. Yeah? He was the person behind all the tours. Yeah? Nobody had gone on a tour, I believe, from this part of the world to another country ever.
To play cricket.
Yeah. And Air India was the first team to travel to India. Air India was the first team to travel to England, and then to Kenya, and then to Australia. So it was all his ideas, his brainchild, and his contacts
oh yes,
which made it possible.
And I believe being a part of the tour, I know I've been to tours before also from India. Being a part of that tour of South Africa, it's so well managed.
Absolutely.
It could be like an international tour, where everything was well planned, agenda, everything was. Your tours were like international tours. I could say it did help UAE cricket a lot to get a lot of the cricketers who played for UAE later on to be part of the India team.
Yeah, it was all because Vikram was in touch with the elite people in the cricket boards of those countries. If you talk about 93 South Africa, he was in touch with Ali Bakar. Ali Bakar was the CEO and managing director of South African Cricket Board, and he helped design the matches and the tours.
So you had some serious cricket.
Serious cricket.
Serious
Western
fun.
Province, Eastern Province, Bowlands.
Yes.
These are the top sides.
Serious cricket, serious fun, and serious
Lance
vision of the.
Klusner.
Yeah.
Jonty Rhodes,
Yes.
David Williams, Omar Henry. I can't remember.
And I
all the names.
believe you always had some Indian cricketers joining you all on the tour. International cricketers, current cricketers who joined you all on the tour, right, sir?
Well, I think we were fortunate to have players like Sanjay Manjrekar, Atul Vasan, Ajay Jadeja, who always used to come on tours.
Were there any Pakistani international joining you also as well? Anytime? Anybody from anybody from that era?
I don't remember.
Asif Iqbal once played.
Well, yes, Asif was invited to play a game in one Dravid Stadium.
Yeah, I think on the Indian tour.
Oh wow, that was great.
We had
Rebon Stadium.
Rebon
Stadium. So that was where the young Sachin Tendulkar was coming on board, and we saw him on the nets, and someone said, watch out for this cricketer. And that is how he was probably playing his under 13, 14 years.
Yes.
Okay, so since when have you been in Dubai? How did you start their India Sports Club and their India Cricket Club?
Well, I have to take a few steps back. It just did not happen overnight. 1971 or it was early 72. I think it was 1971, late 71. That was a period when Sharjah was better known than Dubai. And Dubai was coming up with the Port Rashid, which was in town, lined up on the coast that we had. And there were thousands and thousands of people going into the GCC countries. GCC was not that known at that time, but it was more known as Saudi Arabia and Oman and Kuwait and the UAE. More so Dubai, not too much of Abu Dhabi. And then when I was there for longish periods of time, but I could never imagine or I could never plan out what I'm going to do, even if my spare time was only limited to 4 or 5 hours in a day. And when I got there, it was getting hot. Never realized how much the mercury can go up. But then that craving for outdoors was there. Then we finally, I met people, like-minded people, and we got ourselves together. We were only 6 people, including myself, 7. And I can name a few who were like pillars for me. One was Mazhar Khan, who came from Hyderabad. There was a family of Theophilus. I don't know where they are today. I lost touch long time back. As a father and son. And that's how we we got together, 7 of us, and there was a place called Al Nasser, where that Al Nasser, famous Al Nasser Leisureland Club came up. There was Al Nasser Cinema Hall, in the middle of nowhere, literally. And around that area there was just sand. And this was a place where these huge trucks carrying vegetables or whatever they had to carry to Iraq were parked. So we used to pay a little bit of money to the drivers and ask them to roll that place up and down, up and down. There were at least about 50, 60 tons, I don't know, the dead weight, but it was heavy stuff they used to carry. That's how we created our grounds. Then of course, slowly, more people joined us. Then we also helped people in Alain, in Fujairah, in Ras Al Khaimah. I can tell you a story. We wanted to have more opposition. There was no opposition there at that time. I'm talking about 1978 or 77. And by 1980, we had formed our own group. Not a very large group, but we were, I think, about 15 or 16. And we had our first match in Ras Al Khaimah. And equipment was given by us. The cement pitch, we gave them the design. They did it themselves. But that was the state of affairs of those years. And it was, we grew and we grew. We had a lovely facility at Al Nasser Club. We had our own totally covered nets. We brought in two mat stretches of 22 yards, made them, we got them attached and made like a running area for the bowlers. So, of course, the pitch had to be made of cement. And finally we got into a place called Al Khan roundabout. There's no roundabout of that name anymore in Sharjah. But as you entered after Al Mullah Plaza, there was a roundabout, sort of a roundabout, and on the right hand side was an industrial spot for some warehousing and things like that. And there we got a ground, and we developed that ground. And at that time, of those times, it was the best ground in town. Well, the best ground, a cement ground with side screens. We had a dressing room for 2 teams. We had a seating area. So we had like a small pavilion for spectators. But it was a great fun.
That's the Air India Sports Club.
Now, Air India Sports Club was from the start. And then came, I think it was the period of the 80s. And the 80s we did a lot. We thought to create that hype or to create that buzz, you need to do something sensational, like going on a tour. So our first tour was to India. We went all over the place. We went to Agra, we went to Chandigarh, we went to Bombay, of course Delhi. And then there was great success. And we played, I think we went to Bangalore also, if I'm not mistaken. And then when we went back, by that time there was such an enthusiastic response that we had to have 2 teams. We even created a hockey team for women. We started a team for volleyball. We had a golf set players, and squash. We had 2 squash teams. That's how we kept on growing. And it was not just the numbers were kept occupied. Then came the year that we thought, let's do something greater than what we have achieved by going to India. We went to England. And England was fantastic. We had a very dear friend, Joe Senior. By profession he was a lawyer. And of course there was another Englishman from Guernsey. Name was Nigel Hodges. He played. He used to be, he claimed to be a fast bowler. He was a medium slow, but enthusiastic. And that's how we kept on growing, and we went to, we played at Leeds, we played at Surrey, the Oval, we played against minor counties, we played against Hampshire in Southampton at the home ground. It just went on. It was a dream come true. By the time we came back, and we were on the radio every day. Joe Senior used to send a bulletin, and we had the newspapers in the UAE, Gulf News and Khaleej Times to report. And at times we had that news agency called WAM, W-A-M, WAM of the state, and they used to also started reporting in Arabic. We were on a ride unbelievable, and it just went on and on. We went on a second trip. That 1984, I remember we went to Kenya, and these were all pioneering trips. India was the first time, England was the first time, Kenya was the first time, and then again we went to England, second time, the first time ever of any team that went to England twice. Then apartheid collapsed, and we had to go. And we went to South Africa. There we were received by the sports minister, and we had a fantastic journey there too, playing at I forget the name now, not Wanderers. We played at Greenpoint, Durban. We played at King's, I think it's King Mead Stadium in Durban. We played at Stellenbosch. We played at Constantia. And we played against very good teams. We played any in history of South African cricket, a visiting team had to play against Nicky Oppenheimer's 11, his invitation 11. And there we had Ghulam Mohammed, he scored 100. Our Sultan Zarawani took 5 wickets. So both the names are on the roll of honor at Nicky Oppenheimer's ground. And we played there and we beat them. The best part was we beat them. And he had invited former national players of South Africa. And he did praise us. And then of course we took another trip to South Africa. And a team went to Australia too. Another first for the Air India boys. And that's the way we have been doing. And we had a very able, what should I call him? A pillar of strength, or a person who could do many things, all rolled into one, called Mohammed Lokhandwala. Mohammed did something fantastic. He went on and on, struggled a lot, keeping everyone kitted, keeping the spirits high, because I had to be in England for some time and I came back. But even that period I was not in the UAE. He kept going on all cylinders. And that's how we became one of the fittest, one of the brightest, and the strongest teams. And it was all club level, mind you. We used to have visitors to come and we used to beat them. Whenever we went out, I mean, just imagine beating Kenya of those years when Kenya had played in the Prudential Cup, the World Cup, and they did well, and we beat them. 1985, or it was 84, 85. Mohammed will know, he'll remember. But that's how we were. And not only that, we took a hockey team to Tanzania. So it's been a journey, a longest journey, and everyone has contributed. We were the spirit of cricket. We got cricket going, and if you ask anyone of that era, who were the people who got cricket going in the UAE, they will always make a reference of the Air India boys, although Air India was not much of a support. And it was all that the belief that we have started something, stay on it. And that's how we have worked out.
Coming back to the tours, as you are, we have got like you have got about 4-5 countries where you have had Kenya, South Africa, England, and India, Australia. Must have been a great experience and great exposure for that time cricket in UAE where there was no international cricket available.
Absolutely. I mean, those tours helped us to also develop as far as playing against international clubs and counties. For instance, in England, I think we had about nearly 12 or 13 matches tour in about 20 days. So that was, and some of these matches were 2-day games. And playing against English players and county players.
Oh, you played 2-day games as well?
Yes, we did play.
Against Yorkshire, we played a 2-day game.
Against Yorkshire, we played
At Headingley.
That's right.
And we won on the first innings.
Okay.
So, I mean, those were the days when you can't, and plus the tour of Kenya and the tour of Australia, that was again an icing on the cake, going so far away and playing matches against club sides. It was a wonderful experience.
Great thing for Air India. And what was Air India doing in the domestic circle at that time? Domestic club cricket, how did they do well? I always remember any Indian cricketer coming, including me, we always played for Air India, and then we made a base, and then we, like a school, we moved on to other teams. So it was always a base club for any Indian good cricketer, first class cricketer coming from India, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Because most of the Indian boys who came from various parts of India, when they landed here, they came to know about the Air India Cricket Club. So they got in touch with Vikram bhai or Mazhar bhai or myself here, who was leading the side at that time. And very soon they were assimilated in the side. They played for us. There were some very good cricketers who had played first class cricket back home. Guys like Zakir, who had played for Hyderabad.
Zakir, Akram Qadri.
Yeah, Akram Qadri. Etesham came and played for us after Panasonic, they closed the team.
Many of
Mohammed
them.
Haider, who played Delhi under 19.
Ahmad Hadi.
Yeah, Ahmad Hadi. And of course, you yourself joined in 1993.
Ojas Mehta. A lot of Bombay cricketers as well.
Lot of Bombay cricketers.
A young cricketer called Vijay Mehra.
Yes.
Vijay Mehra from Delhi.
And Ashish Thakur.
Okay, Vijay Mehra did play for Air India.
Of course.
Oh, then he moved on to
He
NLC.
started his career with Air India, and he was sharing the house with me.
Oh wow, so it's going to be very soon that I am going to cover the NMC team, and Vijay Bhai is a part of that concept.
It was in 85 he joined NMC, and then he was one of the guys who started making
Go
the
to
NMC
see,
team.
when we go to see, there could be many times we don't see a lot of titles by Air India in the domestic league, but you see all the players were fitted by Air India to all the teams who made the titles, happened NNC, Sharjah Club, you take it the names, National Panasonic, and this is how the concept of Air India, there was a time we used to go to Bombay and we had no place to stay. So many families used to say, come and stay with us. Like there's no hotels. Like Air India was a base created for every Indian coming from India, good cricketer,
Absolutely.
and they distributed it.
Yeah. There's one name I forgot, Abbas Ali Khan,
Huh?
wicket-keeper batsman. Yeah. He also played India under 19.
Yeah.
And Mohammed to add on, Satish Naik,
Satish
Ghulam
Naik.
Mohammad,
Wow.
you know, all these cricketers were the backbone of cricket, I think.
Satish Naik has a unique record of having taken 10 wickets in Kanga League.
Also, along with Vikram sir, I think Sham Bhatia also has gets involved with Air India concepts initially. I remember on the tour traveling with the team. Sham Bhatia sir also has got some touches on this.
He was the manager on the 1992 tour to UK and again in
South Africa.
1993 in South Africa. So he was
So lot of big names of UAE cricket. Big circle where UAE initiative started the cricket stuff. Moving in UAE, the concept of cricket was, I cannot say the concept, there were clubs like Sharjah Club also at that time who were
Champion side.
champion side. We had all the Pakistani stars playing for them. And Air India तो मुँह तोड़ जवाब देने के लिए तैयार हो रही थी.
We always finished in the top 3, I would say.
Yeah,
You
top
know,
three, top four, we
top
were
four,
always
we were
there.
there. And of course, Sharjah Club, and there were certain other clubs which were
Bank of Oman,
Bank of Oman, they were
Dubai
very good
Bank,
sides.
Dulsco.
So I think our performances were quite good in domestic cricket, and with Mohammed scoring, Ashish Thakur scoring, Satish Naik there, and we used to give the best of teams a run for their money. And
Satish Naik, Emak, Bombay cricket. Samir's father, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Not Samir's father. Samir is
Uncle.
Suru's son.
Yeah, Samir.
Chacha of.
Yeah, I got it.
Suru Naik's elder brother.
Yeah.
Satish Naik.
Yeah.
so we had brilliant players, to be honest with you. We had the classiest players like Ashish Thakur and Mohammed to Vijay Mehra and
Mazhabai.
Mazhabai
used to be one of the most classy wicket keepers of that.
we
Yeah,
had
the most successful wicket keeper. I remember some of his catches down the leg side. Amazing.
Who would not dive,
Absolutely
who
amazing.
would not dive, but move his feet and take the catches. That was the glamour of what
No,
he
he
carried.
used to
on.
dive, full length dive.
Yeah, but हम लोग बोलते हैं मतलब orthodox keeper जो होता था.
Amazing catches. I remember one dismissal versus Yorkshire. Ashley Metcalf got 100 against us in the first innings. It was a 2-day game. And in the
What a
second
memory,
game,
what a memory. I
in the
can see
second
Mazhar
game,
bhai.
I was bowling in swinger, it went down the leg side. Ashley Metcalf got a tickle and Mazhar bhai dived full length to take that catch and we got him out for a very low score.
Wow.
I still remember that catch. Yeah.
That was for Air India game.
Yes, Air India versus Yorkshire at Headingley.
See, let me highlight that when I toured with Air India and I played with Air India in Boland when we were playing we played Omar Henry. I was called for a contract the next year and I was with Boland districts for this. So Air India helped me a lot into getting my first class moment in South Africa. I think we can go on and go on with Air India team.
Yeah,
I think I've covered most of the aspects where I could go on the tour, the initiative. And of course, we had a hard-hitting batsman, great personality, Vikram Kaul sir, who could hammer any bowler outside the park.
Let me tell you about one of his knocks. We were playing in Kenya and we were some 13 for 2 when Vikram bhai went into bat. We were playing against the Kenya Cricket Association,
National team.
the national team.
You can say
And-
Kenya 80.
Yes, Cleophas Udoi, the fast bowler, he bowled a bouncer which Vikram bhai tried to hook and it hit him on the chest. And that really set him off. After that, he hit Cleophas Udoi for 3 sixes in the car park behind Nairobi Gymkhana Stadium. Yeah. And we won that match. Vikram bhai got some 60 and me and Riaz bhai got the remaining runs at the end. I got an unbeaten 87. And Kenya Cricket Association was shocked that their national team was beaten by Air India Cricket Club of that.
Wow. Very lively. Mohammed bhai is expressing the moments of Air India teams in different aspects. Thank you, Mazhar bhai. I have taken this time of yours and you just walked out of your office. You have to go back.
Ambey, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
And,
Mohammed bhai, also thank you very much for
My
your
pleasure.
time given to me.
My pleasure.
And I hope Air India is a trendsetter in UAE. And we
Absolutely.
look forward to many, many clubs coming in UAE again.
just to add here, as Mohammed is leaving Dubai for good to get back to his base in Mumbai. We all Air Indians wish him all the best.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll definitely be in touch. And we'll see you in Mumbai, inshallah, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Good luck
thank
to
you, thank you.